So we're here with Bianca Austin, as you can see, Breonna Taylor's aunt. And first, I just want to ask, I mean, I'm sure the answer is not great, but how's the family been holding up? We're now 116 days since this happened.
Just holding up, taking it one day at a time. Just one day at a time. As you can see, we just got through the holiday, so it's definitely, her presence was definitely missed. So yeah.
And before we get into everything that happened, I just think it's important for viewers who don't know, can you kind of tell us a little bit more about Breonna, who she was, her personality?
Well, Breonna was this just young, she was just full of life. She was a very hard worker. She was all about women empowerment. She was all about just bettering herself as a human being. She was about setting goals. She was about family, just being with family. And Breonna was she was a good time. You know, if you knew her, her energy would just make you want to get to know her. So.
And you know, I think from the start, I mean, we've seen over the last few days the problems with the police department here, but
the last few years.
Yeah.
I mean, but
was it ever explained to your family, like, why the need to come in commando style for a woman who had no criminal record, was an EMT? There was no reason to come in like that in the first place.
I mean, we ask ourselves that questions every day. Like, we've been asking that since day one. Like, why this? Like, why come to her house with this? I mean, yeah, it's mind blowing. We want answers too. That's what we waiting on. You know what I mean? We've been waiting over, what you said, 116 days. So we've been waiting, and we still yet to get a straight answer out of anybody.
And the family recently filed in court, basically saying that the raids that the police did were part of a broader effort to gentrify a whole block in Louisville, in the West End of Louisville. Can you kind of talk about that?
Well, I can't elaborate on that, but I know Sam Aguiar and Lanita Baker has been working endlessly, just trying to find answers. And I believe some of the evidence that they came across, he strongly believes that is one of the reasons this raid happened.
And, you know, we saw in the case of George Floyd, the police first lied about what happened.
Yes.
They said, oh, during a routine arrest, he was in medical distress.
Yeah.
We recently found out that they said that on the police report there was no forced entry. They said no injury.
Yeah.
I mean, two of the officers are still working.
Yeah.
No criminal charges. So here you get to basically assassinate someone while they're sleeping, lie about it, and there's nothing's been done.
Paid for it. Yeah.
Well, what are your thoughts on the lies and the cover-up after the fact?
It's definitely an insult to the family. You know what I mean? I mean, that's what we was waiting around for, like at least the police report. But, you know, they put that blank sheet of paper out, and, you know, this incompetent police work that they showed, and just the lies from day one. I mean, if you've been following the story, you know, they lied from day one, whether it was a no-knock, whether they announced. They shouldn't have been there in the first place. So it's very upsetting. You know, we just trying to stay patient because we want all the details to come out in this case. You know what I mean? We want everybody held accountable. You know, not just those 4 officers, but, I mean, this was a team of people. You know what I mean? Like, this is mind-blowing that this goes on in the city of Louisville, especially to a young woman who was doing everything right. She worked 2 jobs. She owns her. I mean, she had her own house, her own car. You know what I mean? And she didn't get an opportunity to start a family. She didn't get an opportunity to better herself, you know, and level herself up. Like, it's heartbreaking, you know, and we miss her every day. And
not only that, but while this happened, COVID was beginning to break out.
Yes,
she was an EMT worker treating patients.
Treating patients. Yeah, saving lives. Every day. Get up. Not from 1 job, but 2. You know what I mean? So it is, like, we devastated. Like, I don't like, and that's an understatement, it's devastation. It's a nightmare. You know, some days we feel like we're in a twilight zone, and we just want to know, like, why are they doing this to us? Like, why did they do this to her? Like, why do we have to go through this? This isn't right. You know what I mean?
They're getting away with it.
Yeah. So we just want answers. We want justice. And from day one, like I said, if we're not going to stop until these people are held accountable.
And could you kind of elaborate? Because when we got here yesterday, we were about to start an interview, and like 4 police cars come up. They come in here.
They did it every night.
It ended up like 12 officers, all to force protesters to knock down a tent.
Yeah, we experienced it. We experienced it too. We came down for the 4th of July. You know, we had our, we was at home most of the day, and then the kids, they wanted to come light fireworks, you know, for the people down here. So that's what we did. We came hang out. You know, it was just, it's the 4th of July. It's a holiday, you know. And as we're lighting fireworks, it was an army of just police officers that, I mean, I almost got ran over. They almost ran me over. Like, it was just crazy. And only they did all that to come tell us to move one vehicle that was in the street.
That's every day.
And it's been happening every day. You know what I mean? So, I mean, I don't know. I guess they just running wild since they don't, you know, have a police chief, or they don't have any leadership, you know. They don't have a police chief.
But where's the leadership? Like, you have a governor, you have a mayor.
Yeah.
What have they been doing?
The mayor,
He's scared.
you know, I don't have anything good to say about the mayor, so I'm just not going to say anything at all.
Greg Fisher. Yeah.
So
Okay.
Greg Fisher, he's another one on my list. And just know we coming for you too, Greg Fisher.
Hey, can you kind of talk about the history? I mean, obviously, we're in Kentucky. You got the Confederacy, segregation.
Yeah.
And I see the cops smirking at the protesters, most of them white.
They taunting them. They come down here and instigate stuff all the time. Like,
And they send
you know,
people here to Chariton stuff.
Yeah.
They pay people to do that.
yeah.
You think if they suspected, you know, a white kid in Lexington was part of some drug ring, they'd go in the middle of the night?
Oh, of course not. Even Fisher's son been a part of some type of drug activity, but you know, we don't see that on the news at all. You know, just like they swept his case under the rug, like they tried to do Breonna's, but you know.
And can you kind of talk about, my understanding is your mother was driving around for hours the night this happened.
My sister.
Your sister, excuse me. The night this happened.
Yeah.
And then when they got there, the police kind of made it seem like maybe there was a domestic altercation.
Yeah, they tried to turn the narrative around. So, like, you know, she gets the call from Kenny, and she makes her way over there, and before she gets on the scene, the officer directed her to the hospital, where she assumed that Breonna was getting medical attention. She sat at University Hospital for 2 hours before a nurse came out and asked her, you know, can we help you? Are you all waiting on somebody? And she says, yeah, my daughter's here. And she told her, you know, her daughter, Breonna Taylor, she was involved in something, and she was supposed to be in the ER. And the lady went and checked and came back and said, ma'am, we don't have anybody in here by that name. We don't have a patient. Are you sure you're at the right hospital? And that alone is just, I just can't imagine her I just can't imagine. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And then when she made her way back, she still didn't get any information. She, you know, told everybody who she was. And when she finally did talk to an officer on the scene, they told her her daughter was still in the house. And I guess that was their way of telling her that she was deceased. We don't really know what that meant, but you know, just and this is just tell you just how they operate. They have no type of it was no type of professionalism or anything on the scene. It was just a whole shit show. You know what I mean? It basically is what it was. And Breonna lost her life in the midst of all this. It's crazy.
And there was a report in the New York Times, I think I saw it yesterday, that possibly she was alive for a little bit, but they didn't provide any medical attention.
And that's what bothers me the most. You know, when when you do these raids and stuff, like, you know, I'm pretty sure 911 is, you know, informed about, you know, if you get these calls, you know, blah, blah, blah. I'm pretty sure everybody was kind of informed. But then again, I don't really know who did what or where. But
Well, Kenneth called
if somebody
911,
if somebody calls you screaming for help in 911, they never treated her. They never came to her apartment, nothing at all. And to know that that's what she did, is to get out here and save lives every freaking day, and nobody came to her aid, is disgusting. And Louisville Metro Police Department should be ashamed of themselves.
And what's also alarming is they tried to charge Kenneth, the boyfriend, with murder. I mean, imagine if you're just in bed, people come in commando. All these right-wingers say, don't tread on me, shoot first, ask question later. But apparently black people are not afforded the same thing.
It don't apply to us, apparently. It don't apply to us. So, I mean, you know, it's the whole, I mean, everything about this situation that you think can go wrong is going wrong, and it gets worse every day. Like, every detail that comes out is just a slap in the face. And, you know, thank God, you know, Kenny was there, you know what I mean? So, and we just glad he's still here, you know, because he could have been dead too. You know, Janiyah could have been dead. She lives there. Thank God she wasn't at home. She could have died. So, I mean, little Journey that stays the night, she could have died. Little 2-year-old baby. That room where all them bullet holes come through, that's where they hang out at. So it's just unfortunate, and we gonna make sure this ever happens again to nobody. Like, this is crazy.
And how do you feel in terms of, obviously this happened in March, then in May the George Floyd murder happens.
Yes.
In that case we had video.
Yes.
And then this national civil rights, police brutality, protest against racism starts. Breonna's name has been covered, but maybe not as much as some others. Do you feel in some ways it hasn't gotten the attention it should have?
Well, let's just go back. Well, at first it was Ahmaud Arbery.
Right, Ahmaud Arbery.
Before Breonna, it was Ahmaud Arbery. You know what I mean? And when that came out, it was, oh God, like, this is crazy. Like, did y'all, you know, is this real, you know? And then when the Breonna's death happened, it was, like you said, right around COVID-19, and you know, we were ordered to, you know, stay in our house, or, you know, it was only, you know, the businesses were shutting down, people were shutting down, people were getting laid off, you know, we were ordered to stay at home. And so that was happening, you know what I mean? So it was even hard for her to plan a funeral, her memorial service. So we barely had one. But, you know, thanks to my church, Greater Friendship, you know, our pastor, Derek Miles, you know, he went against the odds and says, no, this lady deserves, you know, to be sent home properly. So we was thankful for that. And then we were fighting. I mean, after that, I mean, we've been fighting ever since. And it wasn't until George Floyd that happened, unfortunately, and I think that's when Breonna's name took off. But the difference is, though, there were video in those two, so people actually got to see what happened. As opposed to Breonna, people are so fixated on details. They want to know details. What kind of person was she? Like, whose house was she at? Who was she dating? And to me, none of that shit really matters. You know what I mean? Because here it is, this woman was in her own home, and they could have honored this warrant earlier during the day, like they did any other warrant. But they made the decision to go in this single woman's home and kick in her door for somebody she had no dealings with at the time. Like, it's ridiculous. It's clear that the cops didn't do their homework. You know, it's clear that they didn't do any investigation, and it's clear that they was playing this cat and mouse game with local drug dealers, and Breonna's life got sacrificed in the midst of all this. It's just very unfortunate. And what I will say is that, and as I've been saying, that they should have never been there. They should have never been there, and evidence will show the world that they should have never came to her house. Breonna wasn't involved in any drugs. She wasn't in a drug ring. She didn't even do drugs. You know what I'm saying? So it don't make sense to us. So we know the truth. We want them to just say, damn, we made a mistake. Like, let's fix this. But no, instead of that, we got to go through the ringer. We got to fight. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to continue to fight. And we're going to continue to fight for long change, not just a Band-Aid change, not just you give us a shiny nickel. We want long change. We want to be able to live. We know black people should be able to be wealthy. We should be able to drive nice cars. We should be able to live in nice houses without people being profiled, without saying, oh, they must be selling drugs. You know, like, you know, Breonna comes from a hard-working family. We all work hard.
You're also in the
I
medical
work in
field.
healthcare. I deal with COVID patients every day. I watch it. It's real. You know what I mean? So, and, you know, they took this precious life from us. It's so unfortunate. It hurts just to even talk about her in past tense. You know, I get emotional because she should be here. She should be here with us right now.
What does it say to you to see this coming together? You have a lot of white people now.
Oh man,
joining.
I love it. I love it. Like I mean, I love to come down here. I love hanging out with everybody. Like I love it. I love, like, we love to march. Our family loves it. Our kids love it. I mean, and we appreciate them. We love them. We tell them all the time, like, we love it and we appreciate y'all, and we're gonna ride this out to the end because they know it's not right. You know what I mean? And anybody that's rational that knows it's not right. So. And
call me, maybe I'm just a common sense person, but what exactly are they even investigating at this point? They've spoken with the witnesses.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, they have a fake police report. The police officers lied.
There you go.
They didn't find any drugs. Even if they did, that's not a reason to be assassinated. Mm-hmm. So yeah. It seems to me this is kind of a dog and pony show.
Yeah, it's just like they waiting around to get their story together. You know, even when Daniel Cameron stepping in, like, all right, he's been here almost a month. So, I mean...
The Attorney General?
The Attorney General that's taking over from Tom Wine. So I guess, you know, they expect us to just, I don't know, play the waiting game. There's nothing much more we could do besides continue to make these phone calls, continue to dig deep, you know, and we're going to continue to march. Every day they're going to see us, every day.
Do you have a message at all for the current senators of Kentucky? Mitch McConnell, who I assume has not spoken with your family?
No, Mitch McConnell has not reached out to the family. And I don't think he probably ever will. Honestly, I don't even really think he'd give a shit until it started affecting his pockets. You know, then he may probably come forward. As far as Greg Fisher, I just feel like you should just step down. You know, you're supposed to be a man of integrity and honesty and honor. You haven't shown that at all. You know, just like the police chief, he stepped down, you know. Get some people in here that's going to make a change and make a difference. And, you know, we should all be able to live amongst each other freely without being judged and by the color of our skin. It's 2020 and we still getting judged by the color of our skin. We still fighting the fight from generations ago. It's ridiculous. Like, when is enough enough? You know?
Has Amy McGrath, who just became the Democratic nominee, been in touch with your family?
No, Amy McGrath couldn't even say Breonna's name. You know, congratulations to her win, but, you know, I don't think she's clueless about Breonna's place. I don't think she know anything at all, to be honest.
She's never reached out to your family?
Never reached out as of today.
And obviously Charles Booker has been.
Yes. So Booker, I mean, he's been down here. We've been in contact with him multiple times. He's been supportive of the family.
What does that say to you, that a Democratic candidate is speaking up for Black Lives Matter but can't make the phone call?
Yeah, it speaks for itself, don't it? It just speaks for itself. It's just genuine. You know what I mean? You can tell who's genuine and who's not. So.
Oh, we got it, thanks. And two more questions because I know it's hot. Mm-hmm. What does this say beyond Breonna? You guys are basically living in daily terror. I mean, from can't do fireworks without being harassed, can't put up a tent without being harassed, you can't be in your apartment sleeping without being killed. I mean, this is, You want to talk
As far
about?
as we know, this is a public spot.
It is a
right?
public spot.
No, we got the right to be here all.
You want to talk about a pandemic? I mean, this has been going on for centuries.
Yes.
I mean, some politicians are putting up murals, but in the case of Louisville, you guys are demanding cut the police budget. They increased it.
Yeah.
You guys are demanding, you got the no-knock warrants, which is good, but you're demanding certain things, and they're just slow walking you.
Yeah.
How should people help? And people dealing with this in other communities, what do you want to see happen?
I just want to see just people just come forward. White silence is a thing. You know what I mean? I know plenty of people come up to me and say, oh, they support me in silence but won't support me in public. You know what I mean? So that's a big thing. And people need to come forward. Just make time. I mean, do whatever you can to contribute to change. Just don't sit back and judge. A lot of people are so judgmental, and they have it's people from all walks of life down here. They call them animals, they call them this and that, but it's us. We down here. We the people. You know what I mean? And, we try to stay off social media, you know what I mean? Because it's a blessing and a curse at the same time. It's a blessing that's how we was able to get Breonna's name out. But now, since it's out here, we got to deal with the judgmental people and the racist people on there, calling us whatever disgusting name they can. So I just want people to just come forward, speak up. Now's the time. Now's the time. If marching's not your thing, get on the computer. Email somebody, call somebody, do something. You know what I mean? I mean, you can always donate to the cause also. These people are here every day. They need water. They need fresh food. You know what I mean? So just do whatever you can to support the movement, because at this point, it's a movement. And, I feel like Breonna's life is going to make change, not only for Louisville, but for the world. You know what I mean? So in this time, I think people are tired. I think they're tired of fighting, because I know I am. So.
And lastly, what are you hoping, I know it's hard to talk about in the past tense, but what are you hoping that Breonna's legacy will ultimately be?
Oh, man. She wanted so much in life, and we want to honor that for her. We want to empower young women growing up who wants to be an EMT, who wants to become nurses, who wants to start their own business, who wants to, that's what we want, because that's what Breonna, she always encouraged her friends, her family, to just better yourself, become better, and love each other, regardless of what you're going through. You know what I'm saying? She always showed love to everybody. She was a mentor, not only to, our kids growing up. She was a mentor to a lot of people, you know what I mean? And people come up every day and just say, what she meant to them, what they took from them, and it's an honor, you know what I mean? And we realized, we knew what a great person she was, but it's just so unfortunate, we just lost a big blessing in our life. And I'm just happy, to spend 26 years with her, you know what I mean? I'm just glad she gave us that, so.
And is there anything viewers could do to help your family?
Right now, just for our family, just keep praying for us, because, we got some dark days ahead, it's been hard, but, we're not letting up, so we just take a minute, take a deep breath, and just regroup, and just stay focused on getting justice for Breonna, and that's our main focus at this time.
Thank you for talking to us.
No problem.
So sorry what you're dealing with, and also thank you for treating COVID patients, because you're definitely doing great things, and hopefully we can keep in touch and keep covering this. So.
Yes, it's real. Keep your social distance, wear your mask, wash your hands, and justice for Breonna.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
It. Hope you enjoyed that last video. Hop on over to statuscoup.com, where you can sign up for our email list and become a member for as low as $5 to $10 a month.
Membership is how we grow. That's statuscoup.com/join. And remember, join our email list so we can grow the revolution with you.